Hello students, today we are going to discuss a poem, A Psalm of Life. It is by Henry Longfellow. A Psalm of Life. Psalm means a very sacred song, a very holy song, a very sublime song. It is a sublime song on life. It is composed by Henry Longfellow. Let us have an introduction of the poet Henry Longfellow. Henry Longfellow is an American poet. He was born in 1807 and died in 1882. It means he belongs to 19th century. He is one of the very popular poets in 19th century. He is one of the very popular American poets in 19th century. Henry Longfellow is known for the works The Songs of Hiawatha and Paul Revere Wright. These are very famous works of Henry Longfellow. Henry Longfellow worked as a professor in reputed institutions like Harvard. He is known as one of the very talented kind of a poet in the field of English literature. He was an American poet. These are some of the chief features of the poem, that is Psalm of Life. It is a poem is called as psalm, means a sacred song. As I have told you the meaning of the title, that psalm of life means a very sacred song on life, a very holy or very pious or a very sublime song on life. It has a philosophical message. At the end, when we will discuss the poem, we will come to know what philosophy is there in that poem. We will discuss it in detail. The poem shows that life is very meaningful. In some frustrating phases of life, one can feel that life is useless. But the poet very strongly poses his view. The poet very strongly or stresses on this particular opinion that life is not a useless thing, it is a meaningful thing. The poem brings out the poet's optimistic approach. Optimistic means a very positive approach, a very hopeful approach for life. Here, he compares life with a battlefield. He says that life is just like a battlefield. A number of problems are there, a number of complications are there. We just like a hero, we just like a very brave personality. We have to fight against all adversities. And that's why life is called as a battlefield. And human beings, they are expected to work as heroes. A man is called as a soldier, the one who fights on the battlefield. And that's why a man, he should overcome each and every adversity of life, adversity in life. The poet inspires the readers to get inspiration from the great people and their lives. In the poem, we come to know that the poet, he suggests or he advises the people that we should not feel down when we fight against adversities. On the contrary, when a negative phase of life is there, we should try to see towards great people. We should try to assess their life, that how they fought against the adversities. If we read the biographies of great people, those biographies or autobiographies of great people, it will definitely provide a kind of inspiration to us. And those biographies or autobiographies or the experiences of the great people, it can motivate us to fight against adversities. This is the text, A Psalm of Life. The poet begins, "Tell me not in mournful numbers, life is but an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem." The poet says that do not tell him about the sad things or sad experiences of life. Mournful numbers means sad incidences, sad experiences, or sorrow of life. He says that tell me not, don't tell me about the sad incidences of your life or sorrowful experiences of your life. Don't tell me about it. He says that life is not an empty dream. Life is not an empty dream. Life has a particular meaning. Don't tell me that life is without any meaning or life is an empty dream. For the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they seem. The poet says that please do not tell me that soul is dead, that there is no meaning to soul, because human body, it has been constructed with two things. The body is there and the soul is there. In negative phase of life, the poet says that don't tell me that the soul is dead and it is enjoying the slumber, or it is sleeping, it is enjoying a deep sleep. It is not like that. And things are not what they seem. Whatever we think, that the things are not positive, and that's why the soul is dead. Don't think in this way. Don't be so negative. Don't be so pessimistic, according to the poet. Then what is the opinion of the poet regarding life? He says that life is not an empty dream, but life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. He says that life is real, life is earnest. It brings out poet's optimism or hopefulness, that life is not an empty dream. It is real, it is earnest, it is very factual, it is very fresh, it is very enthusiastic. Earnest money, it is very enthusiastic, it is very zestful, energetic. According to the poet, our aim should not be the grave, means the death yard should not be the goal of human life. Dust thou art, to dust returnest. Thou means you. You are made up of the dust. You are the art of dust. And you have to go back to dust, isn't it? But was not spoken of the soul. The poet says that we all are made up of dust. One day we will have to go back to that dust. We will have to return to the dust after death. But here was not spoken of soul. It means that you are just speaking about the body and not about the soul. The soul is cheerful, it is eternal, or it cannot die. Here we get an impression that the poet believes in the everlasting existence of the soul. The soul cannot die, but we are not ready to speak about the soul. In third stanza, the poet says, not enjoyment and not sorrow is our destined end or way, but to act that each tomorrow find us farther than today. Here, the poet says that not enjoyment or sorrow is our destined end or way. Moments of enjoyment, happiness, sorrow, pains are the part of life. They are inevitable part of life. As they are the part of life, we cannot avoid it. But enjoyment, sorrow, they are not our destined way. That is a part of our destiny. They are the part of our luck. But to act this way, that bring out tomorrow will be better than today. But to act that each tomorrow find us farther than today. But what is our duty? We have to act. We have to work to shape each tomorrow, to shape our future. What is our duty? To act that each tomorrow. We have to act in this way that our tomorrow will be well constructed, that our tomorrow, that our future will be constructed and find us farther than today. That tomorrow, it should be farther than today. It should be better than today. And that's why we have to focus on future results of our present action. And that's why our present actions are very important according to the poet. We have to concentrate on that. In next stanza, the poet says, art is long, time is fleeting, and our hearts, though stout and brave, still like muffled drums are beating funeral marches to the grave. The poet says that art is long. Long means everlasting. That cannot end. Art is permanent. Time is fleeting. It means that time is passing from our hand. Our hearts are strong as we are strong, but we are beating muffled drums, means we are fearing and continuously thinking about death only and not thinking about the fruitful work. Funeral means dead bodies are carried to the graveyard. That is called as funerals. That is Antayatra. We are thinking and talking about that, but we are not celebrating the present moment and working hard to make the life a success. He says that we are just thinking about the muffled drums, which are generally beaten, which are generally, that sound, it is generally prepared at the time of funerals. We just concentrate on that without thinking our actions, without thinking our future. In the world's broad field of battle, in a bivouac of life, Be not like dumb, driven cattle. Be a hero in a strife. This is a very important stanza in this poem. We can say that this is what the message the poet wants to give. He says, in the world of broad field of battle, the world is just like a broad field of battle. The world is like a battle in the bivouac of life. It means that this is a bivouac of life. It is a temporary place or stay. This life is a temporary place or place or stay, isn't it? Be not like dumb driven cattle. And that's why in this short life, in this battle, we should not behave like driven cattle. We should not behave like animals. We should not behave like cattle who are governed by someone, who are dumb, who cannot speak. On the contrary, our behavior, our action, it should be just like a hero in the strife. As the hero, he presents his chivalry, or he presents his adventure, or he presents his bravery on the battlefield, and he fights against the situation of life. He fights against an enemy. In the same way, we should fight against the adversities of our life without accepting the failure. In next stanza, he says, trust no future, however pleasant. Let the dead past bury its dead. Act in living present, heart within, and God overhead. He says that trust no future. Three tenses are there: future, present, and past. He says that one should not believe in future. Future is always beautiful because it is based on imagination. We cannot see future. We only can imagine the future. And that's why whatever we imagine, that is pleasant. Whatever the beautiful future is there in our imagination, though it is pleasant, don't rely on it. At the same time, let the dead past bury its dead. He says that the past also should be buried under the ground. Why? Because we cannot alter it. We cannot change it. We cannot see the future. At the same time, we cannot change the past. Both these tenses we should not think about. What is important? It is present. And that's why the present is important, where he says, act in living present. Only we can act in present. Present provides us an opportunity to act, because whatever we are behaving in present, the fruits we will get in future. And that's why we have to concentrate on present, heart within, and God's overhead. In the next stanza, he says, lives of great men all remind us we can make our lives sublime. In the journey of life, sometimes we face adversities because every day is not the same. Sometimes we live in a very happy period. Sometimes some moments, they are very negative. They are very frustrating. They make us depressed. In such moments, when we are completely tired and exhausted while fighting against adversities, we should remind the great men. Lives of great men all remind us. If we think or study the lives of great men, they remind us that we can make our lives sublime. By following their examples, we can make our life also is very sublime, very fruitful. We can make our life also by imitating their examples. And departing leave behind us footprints on the sand of time. As the great people, they have passed away, but their work, it has been left behind them with the footprints. It can be said that the footprints can be left behind. The lines teach us that after death, the footprints can be left behind through the great work. Good work only remains after death, and it can be printed on the sand like footprints. Only the good acts, they remain after our life. The last stanza is there. Footprints that perhaps another, sailing over life's solemn main, a forlorn and shipwrecked brother, seeing, shall take heart again. The footprints which have been created with the inspiration of the great people, whatever the act we have done in our life, that may perhaps another, that may provide an opportunity to some other person to get an inspiration from our life. The one sailing over life's Solomon main, the one who is sailing in the uh, journey of life, isn't it? And he is facing some adversity. A forlorn and shipwrecked brother, the one who has forlorn or who has completely missed his path of life, and has experienced the shipwreck, means a frustrated person facing a difficult phase of life, may take heart again, means may take an inspiration from your act, may take an inspiration from your achievements in life. And that's why your life should be an example for the other people. In this way, the poet brings out a very optimistic note through this wonderful poem, A Psalm of Life. And that's why at the end of the life, it is the title of the poem, it can be um, expressed in this way, that life is not meaningless, life is not an empty dream, it is very meaningful. Though you are going through or you are passing through a very difficult phase of life, we can make it useful by keeping faith in our work, keeping faith in our diligence, keeping faith in consistency of our work. Without surrendering ourselves to any adversity, we should try to fight against all those adversities of life. And that's why it is a very optimistic kind of a poem composed by Longfellow. Now again, go through the poem, go through the text. Please listen this particular explanation which has been forwarded to you, and this glossary or the list of difficult words, it will help you to understand the text and the poem in a very simple way. Listen the poem, listen the explanation, read the poem and read the explanations, listen the explanations again and again. The notes will be provided you later on.